One day Will Schuester will be held accountable for his crimes against humanity, but until then, I will be judge, jury, and executioner. Hi, I'm Avonlea, and I watch a lot of TV. Like a lot of TV. When everybody was busy, you know, going outside, being in the heat, and the sun, and the bugs, and the grossness, I was inside. And I was engaging in media. Mostly just because I didn't like getting sweaty. Or sweatier than I usually am. So I figured, why not use this knowledge to start a new series on this channel? It's a little bit different than something I usually do on here, where I rank my favorite plot lines from TV shows that I've seen. And what better way to start off this series than with the fever dream that is Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk's creation, Glee. Glee had 6 seasons, and every single season got more unhinged as time passed. If you haven't seen Glee yet, I highly suggest that you see it, mostly because it's been out now for like 15 years. So you should probably get into it. And if you have seen Glee, buckle up, because you know just as well as I do that the plot lines that are involved in this show are legitimately crazy. So let's get into it.
And that's what you missed on Glee.
I tried to get it down to 5 of my favorite plot lines, but I couldn't do it. This is my top 10 favorite plot lines, and there's a few honorable mentions included in that. Coming in at number 10, and starting off strong, we have Sue Sylvester blackmailing Principal Figgins, and then becoming principal of McKinley. Sue is my favorite character in Glee, as I'm sure is relatable for most other people, as she is unhinged in every sense of the word. Her blackmailing Principal Figgins is insane.
In the words of ex-Principal Figgins, my hands are tied.
Okay, great. Coming in at number 9. This is one of the only plot lines that I necessarily enjoyed in the later seasons, or that really stuck with me. When Unique catfishes Ryder. I hate Ryder. I hated him from the moment he came onto my screen. So Unique catfishing him, what he deserved. I hate most of the new generation men, the new Directions. All those boys suck, and really the only person who was holding the New Directions together for me in the later seasons was Marley. And also the crash out that he had when he found out the truth.
I'm not gonna punch you in the face. But I'm also not gonna talk to you ever again.
Grow up! Grow up, grow up, get over yourself. People were saying trouty mouth about Sam. I point you to Ryder. Number 8. Sebastian being the biggest hater not only of the New Directions, but specifically Kurt and Blaine.
I don't like you.
Fun. I don't like you either.
Assaulting them. Throwing a slushie full of rock salt at Blaine. And on top of the rock salt, he threatens to send deep fake nudes, basically, of Finn to everyone. And all of this culminates to one of the best songs that is presented in Glee ever, which is Smooth Criminal. And that song has the most sexual tension of, frankly, any song in the show.
You're too many, you've been hit by, you've been struck by a smooth criminal.
Tell me you were watching Smooth Criminal and at the end you were like, they're gonna kiss. You weren't thinking that? Everybody was, and they should have. Number 7 is one of the plot lines in the very last season, I believe. Brittany is revealed to be a math genius. And then in an episode where her parents are played by Ken Jeong and Jennifer Coolidge, because why wouldn't they be, it's revealed that her biological father is Stephen Hawking. Hey, Ryan Murphy, genius writing. Coming in at 6, this one is a shout out to Trouty Mouth. When Sam moonlights as a stripper and goes by the name White Chocolate because he's supporting his family because they're currently homeless and they're living in a motel. And then multiple of the New Directions pull up to his job.
That's not an image I can ever get out of my mind.
Once again, thank you so much, Ryan Murphy. We're coming in close at number 5. Number 5 is the multi-episode and then seasonal arc that is Rachel not getting into NYADA. Please. and then she does get into NYADA, and then she is just like harassed and made fun of by Kate Hudson when she does get to NYADA, and she has no issue with it.
I wanna dance and love and dance again.
Well, that's not true. She does have an issue, but she gets over it way quicker than I would have. Since it's Kate Hudson, I guess I'll let it slide. And Kate Hudson looks so hot in that season. Of all of the guest stars that were on Glee, and there's a lot of them, I think Kate Hudson might be my favorite. Also, this will not be the last that we hear about Rachel not getting into NYADA. Not only was it her problem, she made it everybody else's problem. We've all had a flop audition, girl. Those of us that went through college auditions, hey girl, I've messed up quite a few auditions, all right? I have to admire her chutzpah, and I have to admire her being like, no, I'm going to NYADA. This plotline hails from season 1, and man, is it good. At number 4 is when Terry tries to buy Quinn's baby.
How many weeks are you?
Great. So Terry has a chemical pregnancy. When she finds out she's not pregnant, instead of telling Will, she's like, I'm just gonna keep the ruse going, and I'm just gonna like get those pregnancy bellies you can get at maternity stores when you try on clothes and stuff, and I'm just gonna keep wearing that. And then eventually, I don't know what her plan was when it gets to 9 months and she's supposed to be popping the baby out. I don't really remember. I'm sure that they explain it at some point, but actually no, I'm pretty sure she also has no idea what she's gonna do about it. But when Will comes home one day and tells her about Quinn being pregnant, a light bulb goes off in her head, and she decides that she's going to show up in Quinn's car in the student parking lot and offer to basically buy her unborn child. Offers to like pay medical bills and pay for prenatal vitamins and stuff like that. Of course, it like never even gets that far because, well, Will finds out that she's been lying this whole time by finding one of her little pregnancy bellies or whatever. And it's one of the scariest parts of that season, I think, because first of all, Matthew Morrison, jump scare, but also obviously very angry that his wife has been lying about, you know, not having a baby. But girl, he like throws it at her head. I'm so sorry, Ryan Murphy, you're gonna put that in the very first season and you want me to be a Will Schuester fan for the rest of the show? Alright guys, at number 3, when Finn and Rachel try to pull a Naley, which, stay tuned for the One Tree Hill episode, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Who's the father? A little close, aren't you? Oh, I guess it's you.
Hey, okay. They decide they're gonna get married in their senior year, and they wanna have all their little friends involved. And Quinn is texting while driving, and she gets hit by a truck and is temporarily paralyzed. Unbeknownst to Artie, who she's gotten very close with and has been paralyzed since he was 10, she's been going to physical therapy with that guy Joe, who's randomly in the Glee Club, the white guy with locks. I'll put a photo up. They've gotten really close, and he's been accompanying her to her physical therapy appointments, and she shocks everybody at prom by standing up while singing "Take My Breath Away." Mind you, this is the prom that's dinosaur themed, so there's dinosaurs everywhere. Number 2, Sue being McKinley's biggest Klaine shipper, and all of this culminating to her tricking Kurt and Blaine, who are broken up at this point, into a fake elevator that she has built at McKinley, locking them in there so that they can bond. And if you think that's the end, you'd be wrong, because then out rolls a jigsaw-like Sue puppet on a tricycle with cameras for eyes, and she forces them to kiss.
Hello, Klaine. Let's play a game.
They cheat on each other multiple times throughout the show, and yet Sue's like, no, they need to be together.
You and Blaine must kiss. If you kiss each other, you will be allowed to leave this room.
That's ridiculous.
Her building an entire elevator and locking them in there until they kiss is crazy. It is the most clinically insane thing I've ever heard, and yet I love it. Alright guys, we're coming in toward our #1 pick. But before we do that, let's talk some honorable mention. There's one flashback moment where it's revealed that Kurt and Blaine dressed up as JWoww and Mike the Situation for Halloween, and Blaine does a perfect impression of Mike the Situation.
What's a guy gotta do to get a candy situation up in here, huh?
This is such a combination of my interests as a lover of Jersey Shore and somebody who constantly rewatches Glee.
You get your ass beat. You can stay, get your ass beat. But you can stay, get your ass beat. Okay. You can stay, get your ass beat. All right.
Rachel sending that exchange student to a crack house, and then when she is accosted about it, she says, well, it wasn't an active crack house. I got 3 words for you. Lima Heights adjacent. This is an honorable mention because I think it is a big pillar of the show, and there are multiple plot lines for us to reach it, which is Santana and Brittany, the best couple to come out of Glee and the New Directions.
Just work your body and let it go.
So all the rankings have been pretty funny up until this point, but this very last one I think is a good example of the heart that's actually behind Glee, because sometimes we get kind of distracted by the campy plot lines, but there is true heart behind it. Coach Roz, who is trying to take over the Cheerios, overhears in the hallway Santana make a joke to Mercedes, Brittany, Tina, and Sugar about Coach Beast's shiner that she sees as Coach Beast is walking down the hall. The girls of the Glee Club are given an assignment then by Sue to do a song about female empowerment. And they sing a really great version of Cell Block Tango, but one that then leads to the reveal that Coach Beast's husband is abusing them. Coach Beast tells everyone that she is going to leave her husband, and the girls of the Glee Club sing a really, really beautiful tribute to Coach Beast of Shake It Out by Florence and the Machine.
Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. And it's hard to dance with the devil on your back, so shake it out.
It isn't until 2 episodes later, when Coach Beast breaks up a fight between one of the hockey players and Puck, that Coach Beast is inspired to leave their husband. I think what really strengthens this plotline also is that this isn't the first time that domestic violence is necessarily handled in Glee, but usually it was the butt of a joke. And I think having Coach Beast be the victim of said situation really proves that there's no perfect victim, and that anybody can be a victim of domestic violence, and that nobody deserves to be in a situation like that. It also leads to, I think, one of Puck's best acoustic songs, which is a version of Mean by Taylor Swift.
Someday I'll be living in a big old city. Why you gotta be so mean? You're ever gonna be is mean. Why you gotta be so mean?
All of this to say, I could have done my top 20 plot lines, I could have done my top 30 plot lines. If you couldn't figure it out, I love Glee. So if you've seen Glee and we share some of the same favorites, please let me know down in the comments. If you've never seen Glee and this video inspired you to watch Glee, let me know in the comments. Just let me know, let's have a little chit chat. Let's talk. Love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Blame it on the goose, got you feeling loose. Blame it on the drum, got you in the zone. Blame it on the alcohol.